Yeah, hi. Today we are going to see different kind of scopes are available in the MuleSoft. First of all, let me take one sample application, so then we'll discuss. I'll close everything. So here I'll take one database example for our reference. So let me open this DB example. Any DB example you can open. So here you can see all the operations. Nothing but here you can see add new customer. Okay, I'm adding the new customer to the flow. Okay, I'm adding the new customer to the flow. So to the table, I'm adding the new customer. Here I'm configuring, everything is there. So let me check the table name also, customer's table name, where it is located. Let me check that one as well. Okay, otherwise I can directly insert and I can show you. If you want to show you also, I need to know, right, what is the database. Let me, yeah, latest DB I have. Okay, first of all, let me open this DB from the command line. Command line I'll open. Okay, root is my password. What happened? In the MySQL command line. So here root is my password, and here I want to connect to the latest DB. The DB name I'm connecting. After that, I want to connect to the customers. How can I connect to the customers? Select star from customers. What happened? So let me try one more time. Okay, I think select spelling is wrong. So these are the details are coming from the customer table. Okay, so now I want to insert some of the details. One more new details I want to insert into the customer table. How can I insert? It is very simple. If you want to add new customer details, it is very simple. Let me run this example first of all. Okay, once it is deployed, then I can insert the details from the postman. So from the postman, I need to send all the customer details. Like based on this column names we have to give. Okay, so what is your column name? This is your column name: customer ID, customer name, city, email, mobile. These details I can insert. Okay, so for that I'll take any kind of a post method previously wherever you can use. Add customer. Here you can see customer ID, customer name, customer name, city, and some other details also I can insert. Email, double quotes, I'll give email. I can give anything. You abc.com. This is my email ID, and here I can give my mobile number also. Mobile. This is my mobile number. Okay. So let's insert these details. So here I'll change this customer ID also 9999. So name is customer name is Lakshmi and city is Vizag. This is the email address and mobile number. I want to insert this customer details into the table by using the MuleSoft. Okay. So still my application is deploying. Once it is deployed, then I can hit from the postman by using this path. Okay, what is my path here? Add customer. By using this path, I can hit that postman data and I can insert it into the table. Let's see. Okay, so I'll open the console once again. So once it is deployed, I can see the log here. Okay, still it is deploying. Yeah, my application got deployed, right? So now here, okay, I'm inserting my details into the database. Inserting my details into the database. Let me trigger this. So now you can see some kind of message. So 200, okay, nothing but inserted successfully. Even you can check here also. So 9999, right? What is my details? 9999 is my customer ID and Lakshmi Vizag. And here I have sent some kind of my email ID. Okay, no problem. Anyway, we need to check. Here I can see last details 9999 Lakshmi Vizag, all these details. It is not inserting properly, that's why it is inserting nulls. That is fine actually. This is not our scenario. So what is our scenario? City. Okay, only three details I'm sending here. I'm adding only three details. If you want to insert remaining details also, I can insert. How can I insert? I can use in this way. So email I can use here. Email I can use here. Same thing I can add here. Okay. Email colon payload dot email. Okay, in the same way I can add the phone number also. If you don't want to get nulls, so then I need to add properly all these values. Here I can add the phone also. Mobile. Phone means mobile. Mobile, comma, colon, mobile. Here I can add the mobile also. Payload dot mobile. Okay, my query is ready. So now I am inserting all the values. Even I can give some kind of a success message also in the end of the flow, like customer data inserted successfully. That kind of message also I can give here in the end of the flow. So today my system is a bit slow. So what is my message? Successfully. I'll write in a JSON format. So now my flow is ready. So then I want to insert some new details here. Okay, what is my details I'm inserting? So here I want to insert my details like 7777. So Niranjan. So here I'm using some HYD and my details I'm inserting. So meanwhile my application is redeploying. I'm pressing Ctrl S, so that's why my application is redeploying with the new changes. I have added some changes, right? So with the new changes my application is redeploying, I'm closing this. Let's try to execute this and see. Now you can see what happened. Still it is executing something. It is redeploying, not completed properly. Now let's execute. Now you'll get the response, proper response. What happened? Mobile something. Okay, so I think we need to give small value, otherwise it will not insert. Okay, this time you can say customer added successfully. Customer added successfully. Let's see whether this customer is added or not. What is the customer? 7777 is my customer ID. So as of now I have 27 rows. Let me check how many rows are available this time. 28 rows. You can see 7777 Niranjan Hyderabad, even mail and mobile also I'm able to insert properly. Okay, so now my happy path is executing successfully, so there is no problem in my flow. So then here, for example, I'm having some problem. Okay, so what is the problem? For example, I have some error in the query. So what is the error in the query? So for example, something mobile 1, I don't have this column name, but I'm giving mobile 1. So what will happen this time? This query will fail actually. So nothing but this all details will not insert into the DB. Let's check that one also. So I'm restarting this application. Okay, my application getting restarted. So now let me hit this application. So with the different values. So 8888 I'll take. So here I'll take some other name, Sai. Here I'll take even the email address also, Sai. So I'm sending these details. Now I have some query issue. Okay, mobile 1 in field list. Okay, unknown column mobile 1 in field list. Nothing but this mobile 1 column is not available right in my database. So that's why I'm unable to insert the data. Even you can check also customers. Already I have 28 flows, right? If I again check, still I have 28 only. So nothing but this data is not going to insert into the DB. So in this scenario, what is happening? We are losing our data, right? We are losing our data. So if I want to take the backup of this data, so here I can create a separate flow. I can take the backup. Okay, I can take the backup in a file or anywhere I can take the backup. For example, if I use some other flow like here I can mention the backup flow, db example hyphen backup flow. db example backup flow I can take. In this backup flow, I will take this data, whatever I am sending from the front end. This data I can take a one copy and I will save into some other file also before inserting into the DB. So that what will happen? So here the data will process into this file. After that it will process to the DB so that we can take the backup of the data. Okay, so let's see. I'll take one file. The file also write operation I'll take. Okay, and also like here I can like after this I'll call this flow by using the flow reference. By using flow reference I can call this flow. Anyway, Okay, after that it is going to this flow and it will insert. So for that I'll place two loggers here. So one is the flow started and one is the flow ended. Okay, so how can I write this syntax? Control space flow dot name started and the flow dot name ended, completed. So here, so I'm using some write operation. Here I can write my file into any location. For example, I want to write my file in a src main resource API folder. How can I choose that path? Select here, you can choose src main resource API folder, right? Src main resource API folder. I want to save my data as a customer.json file I want to save. Open. Now whatever data is coming from the flow, first it will go into this private flow. Sorry, this is backup flow, right? So first the data will go to the backup flow. Where is the backup flow? This is the backup flow. First the data will go to the backup flow. It will write into the file, and after that it will going to insert into the DB. Okay. So in this scenario, I'm taking the backup, right? So I don't want to stop, like I don't want to disturb my main flow. So I don't want to wait until complete this flow execution. So in this scenario, we can drag this flow reference inside async scope. Now one scope is introduced that is called like async scope. So async scope means, so parallelly it will create a one child thread and it will insert your data into that child thread. Okay, it will process your data into that child thread. So nothing more, you can take the backup also. So it will not impact in our main thread. So up to here only single thread will come, only main thread will come. Here if you keep this flow reference inside async scope, how you can keep this flow reference inside async scope? By using wrap in option you can choose and select the async scope. Here you can see, so main thread will not disturb, it will create a child thread inside of this async scope. So in the child thread, that payload is processing to the file. Main thread will execute the database. So this parallelly these two threads will execute. So this message will not come to here, and this flow, main flow will not affect. Okay, in this way you can take the backup by using the async scope. What happened? Okay, let's see this example, then you can understand. For example, even though in this scenario I have error actually, so I haven't resolved this error anyway. So still I have mobile one, but in this scenario what will happen, you can see. I'm saving these changes. Let's see these changes are saving or not. So I'll tell you one real-time use case also after this, so then you can understand how this async scope will work. Okay, so let's see. Still it is redeploying. Okay, this time also I'm sending the same data, 8888. You are getting same error, but here you are taking the backup actually. In this folder you are taking the backup by using this async scope. Okay, refresh, you can refresh this folder, then you can see customer.json. Here you can save all your data, 8888 Sai at that. Same data I can take the backup by using the async scope. In this way you can use the async scope. And also I'll tell you one more real-time use case. So in the production we have deployed my application. In that application I have some loggers. Okay, I have some loggers. So this logger is taking too much time to print this. Okay, this loggers, it is taking too much time. For example, okay, I have 3 loggers. So in each and every logger I am printing the payload. So the payload is very huge, so it is taking too much time. So because of these loggers, my flow is getting late. Actually my flow execution is getting late. So because of that I'm facing some kind of a performance issue. So even I'm getting my response without this logger I can get my response within the 1 second, but if I place this loggers I'm getting my response in a 8 to 10 seconds. So it is very huge time, right? So I want to reduce this time. How can I reduce? Because of printing the logger I don't want to stop my main flow execution. So in this scenario you can wrap in this logger inside async scope. So this logs will print asynchronously. So it will stop the main flow execution. It will not stop the main flow execution. First the main thread will come here. So one child thread will create, and in the child thread the logger is printing. So meanwhile the main thread will execute. So again here one more child thread will create. It will execute this logger. Main thread will go. So it is inserting the DB. Main thread always will not stop. In the child threads all these loggers are printing. So in this scenario we can reduce the, in this way we can reduce the time, response time. We can reduce the response time, and also we can increase the performance also by using this async scope. Okay, in this way you can execute in a different scenarios. We can execute asynchronous, we can execute loggers in asynchronous flows. So we can increase the performance, we can reduce the execution time. Okay, in these both scenarios we can use the async scope. And we have one more scope also, that is called we have cache scope, we have until successful scope, we have multiple scopes. Okay, let me explain what is the cache scope. So for that I'll take one more new flow, that is called select flow. Already we have, right? Well, let's see that flow also. I'm saving this application with the new changes. Okay, to explain this kind of a cache scope, I need to run this application in a debug mode, then you can understand. Okay, okay, I'll run this application in a debug mode. First I'll add the debug point, I'll run this application in a debug mode. So let me prepare the request here. Get customers request. Yeah, now it is running in a debug mode. Okay, so here you can see it is deployed, right? I'm getting the data. Okay, so first of all I'm sending the request will come here. What happened? Why it is not stopping? Why it is giving immediate response? What is this? Get flights. Okay, so just assume this is the flights flow. So get customer flow also there, I think. Yeah, this is the get customer flow. I'll keep breakpoint here. Now you can see. So the cursor will come here. So you can see it is going to the database and it is fetching the data, right? So second time I am hitting the same. So again the request will go to the database and it will fetch that data. So that data is not changing actually. So every time I am getting the same data. But here you can see every time you need to hit the database. So in real time scenarios, how it will work means every database call in the production level, every database call, they will do some charges actually for each call. Unnecessarily, they are not providing their database services, right? So they will do charges. So our customers need to pay the charge for each call. So I'm getting the same data. For same data also, I need to hit the database. So in this scenario, I need to pay for each request, right? So unnecessarily I'm paying. Why? Because for same data, why I need to pay the amount? So for the same static content, every time I no need to hit the database, right? So in this scenario, if you are using cache scope, so that is very helpful actually. How it will helpful? For example, you can see this is the get customer flow, and here, and I'll take one more logs also. This is the flow ended. Flow name. Completely. This is the flow completed logger. Nothing but this is the end logger. You can assume end logger. Here I'll create a one start logger. And here, first of all, I want to drag these two things inside cache scope. So then I can reduce the database calls. Okay, how can I drag these two components inside cache scope? First, select these two things and right click and click on the wrap in. Click on the cache scope. So then you can see these two components will going into the cache scope. So even if you want, I'll drag one more logger. So here I'll mention like process logger. This is the process logger inside cache. Okay, inside cache scope. So if this logger is printing nothing but my cursor is going inside cache. Okay, I'm saving these changes. Let me see this time what will happen. So then after that I'll explain what happening internally. Okay, so here you can see I'm sending the request. Now you can observe very carefully. Okay, the cursor will come here. Even if you want to check the logs also, I'll show you. Okay, for your reference. Click on F6. Now you can see my customer flow started. Okay, this flow started, and after that it is going inside cache. Here you can see inside cache scope, it is going to the database first time I'm hitting, it is going to the database, and after that it is transforming the data. It is coming outside. Now finally it is printing flow completed. Okay, this customer's flow completed. Now first time if I send the request, it will going inside cache memory and it will going to the database and it will get the data. So in the second time, if I'm sending the same request, you can see. Okay, so now I'll clear. Okay, I click on F6. So again my customer flow is started. Okay, so now you can see this next. Usually it should print this inside logger, right? Inside cache scope logger, it will print, but this time it will not print. Directly it will coming out from the cache scope and it is printing final logger. Here you can see flow started and flow completed, but previously flow started, it is printing inside cache scope, and after that it is printing flow completed. This time it is not going inside cache. It is that means even it is not going to the database also. So then what happened internally? If I hit the request first time, it is going internally, it will take the data from the database. After that, at a time, it will load the data into the cache memory as well, and it will return the data to the browser. This is the first request. If I am sending the same request for the second time, so then this time it will not going to the database. Directly it is loading from the cache memory. Okay, it is loading from the cache memory. So then here we have two advantages. One is like we can increase the performance, nothing but immediately we'll get the response. Why? Because sometimes to connect to the database and to create the query, to execute the query and to get the data, so it all is taking so much time. But if you are using cache memory, already it is loaded in the cache, so it no need to go to the database. So then directly it will fetch from the cache memory, it will return to the browser, so that we can increase the performance of our application. Even we can decrease the network traffic between the end customer, okay, end customer and database. These two advantages you can see by using cache scope. It is very simple, and yeah, in this way you can utilize the cache scope and even async scope also. Okay, so this cache scope means we have one disadvantage also. If you apply the cache scope, if anyone are inserting new data into the database, that data will not reflect here. Why? Because so if you are sending same request, but the data is increasing in that database, but still it is getting from the cache memory only. Why? Because we are sending the same request, right? If we are sending different request, then it will go to the database, it will fetch the data. But if you are sending same request, always it will fetch from the cache memory. Even though the database is updating also, it will not reflect. Okay, so such scenario, if continuously in your database some people are inserting the data, in that scenario you should not use this cache memory, because you will face some kind of a data issue, data reliability issue. Nothing but in the database you have new data, updated data, but in the cache memory you don't have that updated data. That is the problem you can face. Okay, that's why while using cache also you have to be careful. Yeah, that's it guys, that's it for today. Thank you. So in tomorrow's section, discuss about the kind of a until successful scope. Okay, thank you.